I am shattered just because I'm bored and I want to move on. Like, I want to give this woman a hug. I just got done crying. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Hello, my beautiful, wonderful, and spectacular book besties. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Delaney if you are new here, and we're starting another reading vlog that is going to tear my heart to shreds. I'm going to be going through it. I already know. We're going to be reading emotional books together. And my initial plan was to do reading emotional books for a week, but one thing about me is whenever I set a time frame for reading, I inevitably take a week to finish just one book. So we're just going to be reading emotional books for the foreseeable future. We're going to be vlogging it and hanging out together as I read books that are going to break my heart, most likely. The first book has already been selected and I have started reading it. That is Winter Garden by Kristen Hanna. This has been on my TBR for a very, very long time. And this is the perfect time of year. We are in the middle of December as I'm starting this book, and it feels like it was just meant to be read at this time of year. So I am I'm on page 100 exactly at chapter 7. And the setup is very, very slow so far, which I feel like is kind of normal for Kristen Hanna books. I feel like she takes a lot of time setting up the story, really meeting the characters. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I'm sick and I cannot function. I can't even finish full sentences without losing my breath. Oh my gosh. The setup is feeling very slow, but I do feel like that's Kristen Hanna's writing style, and I think it ends up working out really well because she makes sure that you feel like you know the characters really, really deeply before the plot really starts unraveling, so then the plot feels more impactful, if that makes sense. I feel like that is just kind of her style for writing books, and this one is no different. We have two sisters that are very, very different. One is very much the mom, the wife, the family woman, and the other one is like a adventure photographer, like a documentary photographer, and she goes into really intense situations and settings and documents them through her art. So we have both of them, and then they have they're shared parents, obviously, and their mom in particular is very interesting. She, I believe, was a Russian immigrant, and she's very, very closed off. Yes, so their mom has a history in World War II Russia, and if anyone knows anything about me in historical fiction, World War II is my favorite time period to read about. I'm just fascinated and so emotionally invested in that time period. It has the even more potential to be absolutely gut-wrenching when I read about it. So I am very intrigued to get into the actual mom's history and kind of her storyline. Like I said, we're still setting up the present day storyline with the two sisters and their parents and kind of what's going on in present day, but I'm excited to get the alternating timelines and really see back into that World War II historical time period and the mom's story. So hopefully once we get into that, I'll be feeling a little bit more invested. I'm not disliking it, it's just feeling very slow at the start. So that is my update as of now. I'm gonna stop talking because I literally can't breathe. I'm struggling so bad. I'm getting over the second fever that I've had in a month time span. I don't know what is wrong, but man, oh man, it's been a doozy. So I'm going to go run, relax, drink some tea, maybe read some more of my book, and I'll update you when I have more updates and hopefully when I can form sentences and not be out of breath. Okay, so I'm 70% of the way through this book now, and it is getting so good. We are finally in the mom's story. We don't know exactly how it connects. I have my own suspicions. We don't know exactly how it connects to her life yet, but I feel like I know where it's going. Regardless though, the story that the mom is telling to her daughters is so interesting. It's so heartbreaking and so intriguing. And I knew nothing about this time period. 1940s Russia, I know zero about. Prior to reading this book, I don't think I was ever taught any of that history in school. So reading this is brand new information, and it is absolutely gut-wrenching, some of the things that the mom is describing from this period in history in Russia. And I'm invested. I'm officially invested. It was a very, 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 very slow start, but now that we're kind of in it and we have both storylines going, we have present day with the two daughters and their mom, and we have the mom's story that she's telling her daughters in present day as the past point of view, I'm invested. It also takes place, the present day takes place in like the Seattle area, which is kind of where I'm from. So I love being able to recognize all the places. I think a lot of Kristen Hanna books take place in the Pacific Northwest, which I really enjoy because it's my homeland and I just feel really connected to the characters when I know precisely the locations they're talking about. Kind of a cool element. And I'm also loving the themes of sisterhood in this book. I have an older sister. She's my best friend in the whole world. So like any sort of sister connection in a book, I'm a sucker for every single time. So starting to really enjoy this. It was a slow setup, but now that we're into it, feeling good about it. I feel like I could really quickly read the last portion of this. Like I don't want to put it down now that I'm into it. So we're going to see where the day takes us, the night takes us. I am going to see the Housemaid movie tonight, so probably won't be finishing it tonight, but maybe tomorrow, and I will update you final thoughts and all that jazz. But those are my thoughts as of now. It's picking up pace. I'm finally feeling into it, and I'm very intrigued to see where the story goes and how it all connects to present day. So talk to you when I have an update. Okay, so we must discuss the updates. I finished Winter Garden earlier today, just a couple hours ago, and I am shattered. Like shattered and also put back together at the same time. I was listening to this book. There's one particular part in this book, probably like the 75-80% mark, where my heart broke. And it reminded me so much of one particular part of The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna that I remember more than any part of the book. And that's where the tears started flowing in The Nightingale. And it's also where the tears started flowing in Winter Garden. I was listening to that portion on my walk this morning. I had my AirPods in. Tears were streaming down my face. I was passing people and I was like having to wipe my eyes and be like, hi, good morning. And I was just gutted inside. Like it was devastating. The ending of this book was like both devastating and so beautiful at the same time. I don't even know how to put into words how Kristen Hanna can break my heart and also piece it back together simultaneously every single time. And like the impact of her books, I am someone who can read a book and 5 days later I forget most of the plot, like especially romances or like kind of the fluffier books. But honestly, just in general, I forget a lot of the specifics of books. Every Kristen Hanna book that I've read so far has stuck with me. Like I remember the plot, I remember the setting, I remember how I felt reading it. Her books are so memorable, and I think the really, really slow start, as much as I wish it was like a little bit more captivating at the beginning, I do think it made me care really deeply about the characters, getting to know them. And then once I was in the story, before I knew it, I was kind of just like invested when the plot picked up. And because the beginning was slow, kind of laying the groundwork, I cared so much deeper about the characters, if that makes sense. So I do feel like it's intentional to have slow starts in her books. But that said, it did prevent this from being a 5-star read. I gave it a 4-star initially, but then just sitting with it over the last couple hours, I cannot stop thinking about it. So 4.5. Again, Kristen Hanna, like I cannot with her books. I don't think I've rated any of her books under a 4.5 star. They are ridiculously good and devastating at the same time. I don't know. I also knew nothing, I think I was saying in the last blurb, I knew nothing about this time period. And so it was really interesting to learn about and just heartbreaking. Like I've never heard the like Russian perspective of this time period, I guess is what I'm saying. So wow, wow, wow. Just if you want a book that will make you feel all the feels, and if you're up for a slow beginning, I will say very slow beginning, but if you're up for sticking it out, highly recommend reading this. So good. I think there were a couple quotes. I'm going to pull up on my phone because my Kindle's in the other room. If I can access Kindle Unlimited on my phone, I'm going to read you some of the quotes that I highlighted. They're probably, I hope they're not spoilers, but I was like annotating a couple quotes. Just like her writing is so beautiful. Okay, this is kind of about sisterhood. This was at the 67% mark, so quite a while ago. You're smiling, Meredith said. I was just thinking about our camping trips. Don't make me stop this car, Meredith said, and they both laughed. For a magical moment, the years fell away and they were kids again, fighting over an inch of space in the backseat of a bright red Cadillac convertible with John Denver singing about being high in the mountains. If you have a sister or a sibling, you have those moments in adulthood where you're just like taken back to moments of your childhood, and it's nostalgia. Hot take. Nostalgia, I think, is the most gut-wrenching emotion out there. I get hit with overwhelming waves of nostalgia every so often, especially around the holidays, and I'm like devastated. It's like so much joy and gratitude and so much grief simultaneously. And that just like struck that for me. Like thinking back to childhood with a sibling, with my sister, like those moments were so foundational in my life, and I just thought that was a really beautiful depiction of like growing up with a sibling. This is a short one, but it says, before this trip and all she learned about the three of them, she would have gotten angry or changed the subject, anything to obscure the pain she felt. Now she knew better. You carried your pain with you in life. There was no outrunning it. Love that. I think just like the messages about how pain shapes us and shapes so much of who we are and how we move through life, and relationally, like pain from decades ago can still show up in your interpersonal relationships and kind of come up out of nowhere, and you can't outrun it. You have to make space for it. You have to live with it. Beautifully written. And then this just sums up repairing relationships and like misunderstandings with people that you love. No more apologies, Meredith said. Let's just say it now, once. We're sorry for all the times we hurt each other because we didn't understand. Then we'll let it go, okay? And that is beautiful. Like, we cause so much pain and so much damage just by misunderstanding, and like so many disagreements or arguments or like rifts in relationships can be boiled down to just not listening and not understanding. And I thought that was just beautiful. Like Kristen Hanna with the one-liners, always just so good. Okay, 4.5 stars. Beautiful, 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 beautiful book. And I do have another update because the Kristen Hanna hangover has been hangovering. I want another book that's gonna gut me, so I picked up a Rebecca Yarros. This is Great and Precious Things. She writes a lot of like military contemporary romance, and I vlogged probably over a year ago at this point reading the last letter, and I bawled my eyes out on camera. I think it's one of the very few times I have cried on camera, and I could not hold it together. The last letter gutted me. I will say I've read other Rebecca Yarros books. I read In the Likely Event. I've read Variation. I've read a couple other ones by her romances, and I wasn't the biggest fan. Like, they were fine, but they weren't like the last letter vibes. So I'm curious about this. It says it's a heart-wrenching forbidden romance about family betrayal and ultimately how far we're willing to go on behalf of those we love and who need us most. So I don't know entirely where we're going. I'm only about like 15% into this so far. I did start it this morning when I finished Winter Garden, and we have Cam, who is our male main character, comes home from war, I believe, and he has some big history. He's like really known in the town. His family, he's kind of on the outs of his family, and it involves someone dying. I think his name was Sullivan. I could be wrong. But our female main character was in a relationship, it sounds like, with the guy that died. And for some reason, Cam is linked to the death of that man. So there is probably going to be a budding romance between those two, but there's that big conflict of like her past relationship. Like, she lost him, he passed away, and for some reason it's viewed as being Cam's fault. I don't know why yet. So already like the foundation is there for it to be really emotional. So it could be, I don't want to say last letter vibes, because I don't think anyone can top the last letter and how much that gutted me. But I am hopeful that the plot is going to be there and the emotions are going to be there, because sometimes her books just fall a little flat for me. So we shall see where this one goes. I'm hoping it'll be a good one. I will keep you updated. And man, you guys, I can't stop thinking about the Winter Garden. You should definitely pick it up if you are interested at all. I feel like I just spoke forever, so I'm gonna wrap it up for now, and I'm gonna get ready and go to dinner. I have dinner with my family in just a couple minutes here, so I'm gonna head out the door and then probably read more tonight is my hope, but I will definitely keep you in the loop whenever I do read more. Hello, and wow, I look disheveled. I've been car shopping all day, so that explains the exhausted, worn out, and tattered look. It is quite the experience. Car shopping is just not fun. So that's been my day, but I've also been home for a little while and had a chance to read more of Great and Precious Things, and it's okay. I'm reading it on my Kindle, so this is not actually where I am. It's okay. It's not proving to be emotional in the way that I hoped it would be emotional. It has the recipe of an emotional story. Like we have our main character, he came back from war. Sullivan is his brother. I think in the last clip I didn't know how he was connected to Sullivan. It's very much his brother. Came back from war, lost his brother. His entire family blamed him for his brother's death. And the woman that he is in love with has a romantic history with said brother. So the recipe is there. He's also feuding with his family members over his dad. His dad has like, I think it's like dementia, and he's kind of losing his cognitive abilities and is very adamant about a DNR, a do not resuscitate. And he's going back and forth with his family members of like, dad can't make this decision for himself anymore. Like he's not mentally present enough to make such a huge choice, and then wanting to respect his wishes. Like it's a whole thing. So it's complex. It's very complicated. I am feeling a lot of mixed emotions reading it. I'm just not into it, but I feel like I should be into it. That's where I'm at. I feel like that is the barrier that I'm facing. That's the problem I'm facing, is like I'm reading it and everything should be emotional, and I just don't really care in the way that I feel like I want to care. So not fully loving this, to be totally honest. What even is the first book that I read in this vlog? I feel like I'm repeating myself. I feel like a broken record. There's another book I read recently where I was like, I should care and I don't care. Winter Garden, I think, was the first one. Was that the first one I read? No, because that one was emotional. So maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm not a broken record. But I am not caring about this book. I don't really feel like the romance is super... I'm not invested. I feel like it's not a romance that I'm like, oh, I'm so in. I'm so team them. Main characters are fine. Like I feel for them as human beings, but I don't feel connected to them. It's feeling a lot like the other Rebecca Yarros, In the Likely Event by Rebecca Yarros, where it was fine and it was good, but I was just a little bit disconnected. I think I gave that one 3 stars, maybe 3.5, and this is feeling similar. So as of now, that's where I'm at. I'm at like the 65% mark on my Kindle, I think is what it said. I don't remember what chapter I'm on. I was going to try to find my place in my physical book and then pick up the physical copy for the rest of the night, because I feel like holding a book right now. That feels fun. So I'm gonna go consult with my Kindle and see where I'm at and come back. I just am not loving it. I will say our female main character, her niece, is one of my favorite parts of this whole book. She's very cute. She's adorable and just spunky, and I love her personality and I love her character. So she's a highlight for sure. Sometimes little kids in books can make or break them. Sometimes they are so annoying and so obnoxious and so like written so not age appropriate, like not at all the age that they actually would be. This character, I'm loving her. She's adorable and she brings so much joy to the book. So that's where I'm at. I'm going to go shower the car dealerships off of me and relax for a night, because man, oh man, what a process. So I'm gonna let this be for tonight. I'm gonna read a little bit more, maybe try to finish it tonight, just because I'm bored and I want to move on. So I might try to power through the end and see if it gets better, but honestly, I just kind of want to be done with this book. That sounds terrible, but I'm bored. I'm also reading this. I've read it over Christmas, which doesn't help because it's been so sporadic reading it. I've been so busy with the holiday that I haven't had a ton of time to sit down and read in one sitting, which definitely does impact how a book impacts me. If I take forever to read it, oftentimes the emotional impact is a little bit lessened, I guess. There's a word I want, I can't think of it, but the emotional impact is definitely impacted if I take too long to read a book. So it could be partially my fault reading the book around the crazy holiday season, but those are my thoughts as of now. Anyways, I feel like I keep rambling, but I'm gonna let you go for now. I'll talk to you you'll see it in just a couple seconds, but I'll probably talk to you when I finish the book with my final thoughts. Hello, it is the next day and I fear It is the next day and I fear I must share some not so great news about this book. I finished it. I didn't love it. I gave it a 3 star. I still just feel so disconnected from the characters. The ending was good in terms of plot, like it was creative in the way that it was wrapped up, but I will say I saw like the major plot twist at about the 50% mark. I was 0% surprised. I knew what was coming and it did make for a good ending. It was action-packed. It would have been shocking had I not predicted it. And so like how do I word what I want to say? The intention, I think, behind the ending was to have this wow factor, and it could have been that way for some people. I personally, 1, predicted it, and 2, didn't care enough to have like such a strong emotional reaction at the end. The couple, I still just feel like they were not overly believable. Like I don't feel like they had really cute coupley moments where I was like, I'm obsessed with them, I'm rooting for them, and that's what I need in a romance to really have that strong emotional reaction. Didn't have any of that, and it's so bizarre because the plot point, like there were so many parts of the book that should have been so emotional. The male main character and his brother died and it was his own fault in the war, emotional. The dad not wanting a DNR and kind of the tearing the siblings apart because of that, emotional. The dad and his dementia and losing his memory, emotional. Like all of these things should have been a recipe for a book that like really tugged on the heartstrings, and it just didn't. I don't know if I'm not a fan of Rebecca Yarros writing. I don't know what it is, because The Last Letter blew me away, like totally, it got me. And then every other book I've read by her, I've been really underwhelmed. Variation was decent, but In the Likely Event was right around that 3-star range as well. They're not bad books. They just, I feel like, don't have the intended impact. They're not successful in fully delivering the full emotional punch that I feel like I'm wanting from them. That said, I feel like I might be done reading Rebecca Yarros contemporary romances. I do have a little desire to get back into the Fourth Wing series just because I have FOMO. I did read Fourth Wing and I never continued the series after that, but I do have a little bit of FOMO, to be totally honest, when I see people talking about the series. I feel like maybe fantasy is more her niche, and I don't know, I feel like all her books are military romances and they should be emotional, because every time I read anything about war, military, veteran, anything, it like guts me, and I feel like I'm wanting that. Maybe it's my expectations that ruin it, but I'm really wanting that from her books and I very rarely get it. So 3 stars on this one. I have a feeling where I'm going next and I feel really good about it, but I'm not 100% confident that it is that book that I'm going to be reading next. I have 2 in mind. Should I just tell you? I'm just going to tell you. I don't know why I'm being so ominous. It's either The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath or The Bright Years by, I don't know the author's name, but the cover is beautiful and I've seen everybody giving it 5 stars. I think I want to read The Bright Years. I think that's where I'm headed next. Not fully confident, but I have very high hopes for that book, which makes me a little bit nervous. We started this video so strong with a 4.5 with Kristen Hanna's book. I don't know if I told you guys. Whoa, hello ADHD. I bumped it up to a 4.5. I think when I first finished the book, I said 4 stars. It's a 4.5. I don't know if I told you that or not. 4.5 regardless. So 4.5, 3-star. In The Bright Years, I feel like could be a 4 or 5 star. I've seen Sarah Caroli, I've seen Destiny Sidwell, like everybody that I love and really respect their opinions has loved that book. So I'm thinking that's where we're going next, but I'm not ready to commit fully yet. So I will keep you posted, but I wanted to wrap up Great and Precious, Beautiful Things, whatever it was called, Great and Precious Things, and just tell you, not the book for me personally. I will probably be unhauling this off my shelves, but that's okay. You win some, you lose some. It wasn't a bad read. I'm not mad that I read it. It just is not a book that I'll ever think about again. I'll probably forget it by the time I film my wrap up in 2 days. So that tells you everything you need to know. It's a book that I finished once I read the last page. It's out of sight, out of mind. Not really gonna ever cross my mind again. On that super bright and sunshiny note, I'm gonna wrap this up here, but I will keep you posted when I decide where we're going next. Hello. We have decided on the last book for this vlog, and I am only 67 pages into this so far, and I'm loving it. It is so emotional already. And my Goodreads update, I was like, I don't think I've ever cared about characters as quickly and deeply as I care about these characters. Only 67 pages, and like my heart is fully in on them, fully with them. It's breaking with them, it's celebrating with them, it's joyful with them, it's sad with them, like everything that they're feeling, I'm feeling. And I don't know how she's doing it. Her writing is beautiful, just beautiful, but I don't know how she's created characters that in such a short amount of time I feel so deeply connected to. We essentially have like generations of families here, and our main characters, we have a woman who has a son from her past life, kind of. She, I think, put him up for adoption, and now in her current life, the man that she's with doesn't know about him, but she obviously is still thinking about him. In her present life, like she's having fertility issues, they are having another baby, like there's just a lot of really heavy things, and like being in the mind of this woman who has this son that she doesn't know anything about anymore, that the person that she's with doesn't even know exists. Just really heavy topics and really heartbreaking. And the way that it's written, like I just feel like I want to give this woman a hug. Like she has been through so much, and such a beautiful story. She has secrets, her husband has secrets, like there's just really complicated relational dynamics all around, and I'm so into it. It's been such a heavy read already, but I'm so into it and so emotionally invested already. So very, very excited to continue this and see where it goes. Everyone that I've talked to has said like favorite book of 2025, 5 stars. Like my expectations are pretty high, but so far it's living up to my expectations. So I will keep you posted as I get further into it, but I wanted to open this up and just let you know, like, this is a book that the second you crack it open, you're in it and you're invested. And so if you're looking for something like that and you don't want a slow setup of any sort, definitely recommend this, because man, within the first 10 pages, I was like, okay, I care. I'm into this. So really great start. Really excited to see where we go from here, and just a great read so far. Hello, so I'm reading The Bright Years and I just got done crying. I pulled myself together. Part 2, I just started part 2 within the first 2 chapters. I'm gutted. Like, what in the world? I knew this book was emotional, but I did not expect that to be thrown into the plot, and I am absolutely heartbroken. This book, you guys, is so phenomenal and so devastating. I don't even know how to put into words, like, the emotional devastation and the emotional impact of this book is unlike anything I've maybe ever read, or at least read in a very, very long time. This is a must-read book. Must read. It is so beautifully done. I'm not even done with it yet, and I see no world where this isn't a 5-star read. I am so invested, so emotionally impacted. I care so deeply. I could cry right now thinking about these characters. Like, what the heck is even going on? They're fictional beings, and I'm so invested in them. I took pictures of some pages that I wanted to read to you guys, because I've been trying to not annotate books because I find that I never go back and look at my annotations, to be determined if I ever revisit. But part 1, 1974 is the first quote. There's a quote at the beginning, towards the beginning of this book, that is absolutely devastating. It says, "Each day of work is a reminder that I'm unprepared to be a mom. I couldn't have provided for a child alone when I can hardly provide for myself, right? But at the end of the day, I can't convince myself it was right. What kind of woman gives away a child? I could have kept him. Or had an abortion, legalized just a few months ago. Except I couldn't do that when it came down to it. Sometimes a woman's choice is between impossible and impossible and impossible, and she just has to make it. Survival calculations become more urgent than rightness." Devastating? Devastating. And just that quote about like the choices as a woman are sometimes the most impossible choices you can ever make, and you have to choose between 2 impossible and incredibly hard decisions. I can only imagine being in that position. And then there's another quote just a few pages later, actually, that was devastating as well. "I watch a shadow descend on him, the birth of one dream equaling the death of another. And even though the gain is great, the loss is felt. Loss is lost regardless of the gains that come later. And just like Jet deserves our joy, these losses deserve our sadness." Ah, the writing, you guys. And just in case you didn't get the point that this book is devastating yet, I have another quote. "Still, memories creep under doorways like smoke. I turn the corner after tucking Jet into bed. I almost crash into one. Ryan of the early years, coming towards me before work, with morning eyes, a half-eaten donut, John Coltrane playing in the living room, and a scratchy voice crooning, 'Dance with me?' Back then, he'd turn brown moments golden. The same man could have gone and killed someone today. How many times can I give up on the same person?" How many times can I give up on the same person? Oh my gosh. Please tell me you understand what I'm saying. Like, absolutely gut-wrenching, devastating. There are 2 kinds of grief at a wake: grieving the loss of what was and grieving the loss of what wasn't. Can you see how brilliant this author is? Like, brilliant in her writing, in her prose, in the way that she puts things, in her plot, in her characters. Oh my goodness, you guys. This book is absolutely incredible. I am so sad currently. I'm torn between not wanting to put this down and needing a mental health break after what I just read. So we'll see where I go from here. Just absolutely gut-wrenching. Absolutely gut-wrenching. That sums up how I'm feeling right now about this book. I'm about to read like the last 10 pages of this book, maybe like 15. I'm so scared. I'm gonna cry. So I'm not sure how one person goes about processing the end of this book or any of this book. Oh my gosh. If you or anyone in your life has been impacted by addiction of any sort on any level, I think this book's gonna hit real hard for you. This, oh my gosh. Should I just read you some of the quotes that had me sobbing there at the end? I'm gonna make sure there's no spoilers or anything. But some of them are just like one sentence quotes about life that are like, jeez. Here's one from a little further back. It says, when the guests have gone, it's just Dad and me. His eyes are bloodshot, and that does something to a girl. Even a grown girl with an awful father, to see her father hurt. Maybe that's why I've looked away. If you just sit and think on that sentence, like, it just gets more powerful the longer you think on it. I don't buy it for a second when she insists I made a mistake. Clear as day, I can still see the bruises and hear him begging. It was a mistake, Elise. No, F that. Mistakes are choices too. Like the accountability, mistakes are choices too. Yes. I don't know if there's any distance where family makes sense. All I know is that a man can be sorry from any height or depth, and he better say it while he can. If you've read this book, you guys, the quotes, the people, the humanity, oh my gosh. 12 years ago, I didn't realize the thirst is like a virus waiting under my skin. I didn't truly know the double mind of recovery until something happened earlier in the book. I fought the urge to step off a bridge, got plastered, didn't step off a bridge, but did fall off the proverbial wagon. Relapse is too gentle of a word. Come evenings and weekends, I was catatonic. It was slow suicide. Life can be too long to bear. Okay, yeah, that'll do it. I'm not sure how you'll view me as you grow up, but it might impact how you view yourself. And so there are two things I want you to plainly know. First, alcohol is a big part of my life. Second, alcohol is a small part of me. Addiction is only one section in the textbook of a human. Early in mine, I was berated by the question, why can't I stop? But over the years, the better question revealed itself. Why did I start? The messages about addiction and like how they can completely transform a good human and like someone that you love and know and respect and is so safe, and like it could be the greatest person in the world, and if they are taken over by addiction, they are someone new entirely, and they're not a bad person for that. Do you know what I mean? Like the accountability and compassion, holding space for both at once, and the empathy and the understanding of what happened to make someone go down the road of addiction and substance abuse, whatever their substance of choice is. It's just so much more complex than like addict equals bad person. They can cause so much harm and do so much damage, and that is all valid and true, and that's their responsibility, and also they're humans in there. Like what got them to that point? I just always think of that just in the realm of society. Like I think it's so easy to vilify people that are on drugs or whatever it is because they're causing harm, and like that's true and valid, and also what happened? Like what happened to you that made you hurt so badly? You know what I mean? Wow. Ah, beautiful, beautiful book. The easiest 5 stars I've given out in probably a year or two. Holy smokes. Holy smokes. I think this is her debut novel, you guys. Am I correct on that? I don't know for sure. The Bright Years is her debut novel. Unfreaking real. Unreal. I think she has another book coming out in the spring. I must get my hands on it. This is a new auto-buy author for me. I will read anything that she writes. 5, 6, 7, 8 million stars. Absolutely incredible. Wow. This video has just been quite a roller coaster. We had a slow start that ended up being pretty good with my Kristen Hanna. We had a not so emotionally impactful book with the Rebecca Yarros Great and Precious Things, I think it was called. I don't remember. And then this one just blew me away. I will be thinking about that book for a very long time. A very long time. With that, I have 9 minutes of storage left on my camera, so I should wrap this up and start editing this for you guys and probably get it up to you in the next few days or so. I have no words. I have no words. Okay, I have to just go because, wow, that book. Okay, on that note, thank you so much for hanging out with me. That's incredible. I've had 2 5-star books this year already, and we are 8 days into the year. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. I'm so grateful that I'm mood reading a little bit more. I'm finding the best books. I'm so touched by that book. Like, the emotional impact of that. I don't know what is going on with me that just hit so hard. Man, I love books. I love books and the impact they can have. All right, my camera is rapidly running out of storage, so I'm gonna go. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for another reading vlog. This was a really, really good one, and I'm glad we got to spend it together. Make sure you're subscribed here so you don't miss any future videos, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye, book besties.